everyone. So in today's video, we're gonna read a book. This book is called Old School. So now let's get started. Okay, here's it. On Wednesday, as if our house wasn't crowded enough, now Grandpa is living with us. They raised the rent at Leisure Towers, and he can't afford to live there anymore. So, Mom invited Grandpa to move into with our family. Dad wasn't so hot on the idea, even though Grandpa is his own father. But Mom says it will be just like the old day when 3 generations lived under the same roof. I think Mom has this rosy imagination of the way things used to be, but I have a totally different picture of what it must have been like back then. I was actually okay with Grandpa moving in with us until I realized what it meant for me. Mom let Grandpa pick any bedroom he wanted, and of course, he chose mine. That meant I needed to find a new place to sleep. My first thought it was to go to the guest room, but I forgot that's where the pig stays, and there's no way I'm sharing a pull-out couch with a barn animal. I ruled out Rorik's room right away because he might actually be stepped down from the pig. My only other choice was room with Mamie, so I got out of the airbed and set it all up on his floor. But sleeping in Mamie's room has its own problem. Mom reads Mamie a bedtime story every night, and sometimes they're really long. In fact, lately, I think Mamie's been picking out the thickest book he can, just to just to get on my nerves. In a hole in the ground there lived a hobbit. Things have been a little tense ever since Grandpa moved in. You can tell he doesn't really improve of the way Mom and Dad are raising us kids, even though he never actually come out and say it. Mom been trying to potty train Mamie forever. She's experimenting with something called no pant after dinner, and it's exactly what it sounded like. What's supposed to happen is that when Mamie feels with the urge to go, he'll run to the bathroom. But Mamie just prances around all night with nothing on below the waist, and eventually he ducks behind a reclining in the family room. Plus, I don't think Dad is a huge fan of a no pants after dinner, but I can tell he's even more uncomfortable when Grandpa being here to witness with it. It's pretty obvious having Grandpa around is really stressing Dad out, and every time one of us kids screw up, it just makes Dad even more tense. Oops! Spill. What seemed to annoy Dad the most is that when one of those kids asked Mom to do something that we should be able to do ourselves. Yesterday, I asked Mom to open a microwave braided for me because I always have trouble with those plastic packages. But Dad jumped all over my case. He said if I was traveled to on a desert island with 1,000 of microwave burritos, I was served to death because I couldn't figure out how to open them on my own. I told Dad what the chance of me getting stranded on a desert island with 1,000 microwave burrito were pretty slim, but he said I was missing the point. He said if I don't learn how to do things by myself, I'm not gonna be able to survive in the real world. Another thing that I hate is how Mom still helped me get ready for school in the morning. She picked out my clothes the night before, and she has a chart hanging in the kitchen to help me stay on track. Soap, eating breakfast, teeth, brushing teeth, shower, hair, underwear, socks, pants, shirt, and shoes. I guess that was pretty embarrassed. Okay, wait for me. Okay, so let's start back. Here's it. I guess that was pretty embarrassed by the charts because the other day, what's wrong with it again? I'm pretty, really bored. Here we go. I guess that was pretty embarrassed by the chart because the other day he took it down, but without the thing that guided me through the morning, I got the order of thing all wrong and ended up socks over my shoes. These days, I think that's just waiting for me to screw up. This morning, I forgot to put the cap back on the tube of toothpaste, and that was ready to pounce. Aha! I didn't think it was a big deal. But Dad gave me this long speech about how little things have big consequences. He said if I was a kid growing up in refrigerated times, and it was my job to tighten the bolt on the wagon wheels, but I forgot to then the wheel would fall off and our family would get eaten by wolves. I thought that was being kind of dramatic, but it did make me feel a little guilty about that toothpaste cap. Ma, Pa, Brother, Junior, I'm not the only one who's been getting on Dad's nerves, though lately Rorik been getting under Dad's skin too. Whenever Rorik needs gas for his van, he hit Mom for money. But a few nights ago, he made the mistake of doing it in front of Grandpa. Dad said that from now on, Rorik had to pay from his own gas. And when Rorik asked how he was supposed to do that, Dad said it was time for him to get a job. So Mom helped Rorik go through the help wanted section of newspaper to find him a job that wasn't required any skill or experience. They finally found out an ad for a restaurant that about 15 minutes. Oh, good. Here we go. 15 minutes from our house. Wanted. Seeking more involvement to join the team at the Old Timmy Ice Cream Parlor. I went to the Old Timmy Ice Cream Parlor for early last birthday party, and that's one experience may have permanently ruined ice cream for me. They have this one dessert on a menu called the Feeding Raft. It is 40 scoops of ice cream all on one long tray, and when you mix different flavors of ice cream together, it just turns into gray slop. The Old Timmy Ice Cream Parlor is one of those places where the whole staff comes to your table. sing for your birthday. That made me really uncomfortable because as pretty old babies, they'll rather be doing anything else. It's your birthday, and we're here to say we hope your day is dandy in an old-fashioned way. Roderick had an interview at the restaurant earlier in the week, and believe it or not, he got the job. Saturday, it was first night of work, and Mom thought it would be a good idea for the rest of us to surprise Roderick and cheer him on. But when we got to the restaurant, we couldn't find him anywhere. Mom was pretty worried, but eventually we found him out of the back. Mom wasn't happy that Roderick was on trash duty, and she gave the manager a piece of her mind. But the manager said Roderick was an entry-level employee and that everyone who worked at the restaurant has to pay their dues. I'm pretty sure Roderick was hoping we would all just go home and leave him alone after that. But Mom wanted to stick around, and when Roderick went on his 15-minute break, we hung out with him and employed the lodge. Roderick spent the rest of the night taking the trash from the kitchen out of the dumpster. And I guess Mom wanted him to see one more time before we left. So she told our waiter it was Minnie's birthday, and the waiter called the whole staff to our table. But I wish Mom didn't do that, because there's something about the smell of garbage juice that really ruins your pension. And if you're feeling hungry, you're at the perfect place. Now just blow out the candle so you can stuff your face. On Monday, lately, Mom been trying to get Grandpa to tell us kids about what life was like when he was growing up. Grandpa said that when he was young, they didn't have television or anything like that. So kids spend most of their time outdoor playing games like kick the can. Grows up always talk about playing kick the can. One time, me and Rolly actually gave it a try to see what the big deal was. But we quit after about 30 seconds. Wanna go inside and play Twist the Wizard? Yeah. That said, when he was a kid, he and his best friend, Giles, would just use his imagination and play all day in the woods. I have to say all day. Well, me and Rolly tried using our imagination once, but Rolly Dad put an end to it before we could even get going. Rolly Jefferson, you put down the stick right this instant. That's it. Today, parents are improved protective, and that's when he was a kid, and he and Gala roamed free and never even bothered to tell their parents where they were going. But Mom said it was a lot safer back in those days, and now it's too dangerous for kids to be off on their own with an adult supervision. That said, they might be true, but kids like me and Rolly need to learn how to protect ourselves. That said, when he was in middle school, he and Guile buried stuff all over town so that if they ever got cornered, they could fight their way out. But Grandpa had a different version of thing. He said Dad and Giles raided the kitchen drawer for silverware, and that's what they stationed all over the neighborhood. But when that mother realized her fork and knife were missing, she made the boys dig them all up and bring them back. After that, Dad and Guile got their hands on some plastic utensils, but they got into the argument over whether or not a sport could be used for self-defense, and things turned ugly. Shriek! Guile told his mother and what Dad did and showed her the sport marks to prove it. Wow, that's really, really bad for them. Okay. Show her the sport mark to prove it. I guess those must have been different time because Giles' mom must have been different time because Giles' mom bent Dad over her knee and spanked him. Scream! Scream! See what the problem with putting too much stoke in the old day? You remember all the good stuff, but you forget about the time you got spanked by your best friend Mom on Wednesday. I guess I thought Grandpa would live with us for a little while and then find a place that was cheaper than Leisure Towers. But now I'm starting to worry that it's romantic, and that's not a good thing because I'm not sure how much longer I can be many roommates. For one thing, it's not differentially to share a room with a person who doesn't wear pants after dinner. That's kind of troubling. No pants after dinner. Tra-la-la-la-la, tra-la-la-la-la. And Grandpa's almost just as bad. When he moved out of Leisure Towers, his girlfriend, Darlene, broke up with him. Lately, he's been mopping around the house in a bathrobe, which means I can't really have a friend over. I figure the sooner Grandpa back in the game, the sooner he move out. So I've been showing Grandpa how to do the online dating to help him break out of the funk. I think I've created a monster though. Now Grandpa on the computer 24 hours a day, and he got at least 50 relationship going simulation. Don't even ask me how to keep track of who's who. Valina has sent you a wink. Mother, like your profile picture. Sylvie, like your knock-knock joke. Bethany would like to meet you. Tiffania has sent you a poke. Marjorie thinks you're nice. Things are starting to turn around for Roderick, too. He told Mom he got a private at work, so of course tonight we had to pile into our car to go show him our support. I'm not sure if I'll call Roderick's new position of promotion, though. They've got him dressing up as an old Timmy Tobbies. The restaurant mascot, apparently the guy who had the job last got tired from being seen without his hat on. And I'm guessing when it comes to mascot, that's a huge no-no. Old Timmy Tobias is supposed to walk around the restaurant and go from table to table, making little kids happy. But as far as I can tell, he has the opposite effect. In fact, kids seem to really hate old Timmy Tobbies. When we got there tonight, Roderick was getting in from every side. Splat, gloop. Roderick told Mom that his manager warned him if he was ever caught without his Tobby's hat on, he would be fired on the spot. Luckily, one of his eyes on the custom had come out, which is the only way Roderick was able to stay hydrated. Slurp. I'm starting to wonder if the guys who had the job dressing up as old Timmy Tobbies got fired on purpose. If I had to bet on how long Roderick lasts, I'll give him 2 weeks tops. On Friday, all the buzz at school has been about this big trip to Henderson Farms. That's coming up next month. When you get to my grade, the whole class goes on of a weekly long trip to this place where you sleep in a log cabin and learn about nature and hard work. It's a blast if you're into that sort of thing. But I've already decided I'm gonna be the one of the kids who stay back when everybody else head off the trip. And while the rest of my classmates are sweating it out in the wood, wood, I'll be all in school in the library, enjoying all the comfort of the modern world. Floosh. Ah, Mom been trying to get me to change my mind because she thinks I'm great at not going. I really doubt that's gonna happen, though I've heard horror story from kids who went away to Harrison's farm, and I remember the letter Rock sent home when he went there. Help, help, get me out of here. Help, help, get me out of here. In fact, Robert seemed kind of traumatized by the whole experience. When he got back from the trip, he crawled into the bed and stayed there for an entire weekend. Shudder, shudder, shudder. Today was a deadline for picking who wanted to room with, and at lunch, everyone was scrambling to get into a good cabin. I was glad I already decided I wasn't going because I really don't like it. Because I really didn't want to deal with all that drama. I felt a little bad for Rolly. Because he was counting off bucking with me. When I told him I wasn't going to on a trip, he went around seeing anyone had opening in their cabin. But by the end of the lunch parade, things weren't looking good for him. I can't really worry about Rolly though because I've got my own problem to deal with. Monday, Mom and Dad got a letter from a school saying that it had to come in a special parent-teacher conferences. I've been worried sick all week because I thought I must have forgotten to cross through name of one of my home assignment and I was in trouble. But that wasn't at all. The reason school asked Mom and Dad to come in to tell that my homework grade had to improve so much they're putting me in harder class. Well, I'm pretty sure Fru who are personally having more challenging homework, but he can't be there to help me during a test so I can figure out on a way to sneak him into school I'm never gonna pass. When Mom and Dad came home from the parent-teacher conference, Mom said we need to celebrate the good news. Of course, that meant going to old Timmy ice cream parlor. I was getting a little sick of spending every night at Rorik work, and I think Grandma was feeling the same way. He told Mom ice cream make him gums hurt, and he was gonna stay home this time around. When we got out to the restaurant, though Rorik was nowhere to be found, the manager told Mom that Rorik never showed up for work. That sent Mom into a panic, and we got back in the van to go and looking for him. We drove all over the place, and we finally found Rorik walking along the side of the highway. Shudge, shudge. When we pulled over, Roderick got in the van and explained what happened. He said there was a traffic jam on the highway and he was gonna be late for work. So he got into the carpool lane where he could go a lot faster. The rule for the carpool lane is that you have to have at least 2 people in your vehicle. So Roderick made it look like old Timmy Tobies was sitting next to him in the passenger seat. Unfortunately, some eagle-eyed cop pulled him over. The cop wasn't a zoom and gave Roderick a ticket for $100 when he found all sort of thing wrong with the van, like a broken tail light and expiration sticker. After that, the cop had Roderick van towed and had left him a straight to the side of the road. So Roderick has a huge target for all of the kids who were stuck in a traffic jam. Splat! Glop! Mom told Dad to drive home so she could throw Roderick's costume in a washing machine. But when we got into our street, there were cars parked up and down both sides. There were even cars parked in a lawn, which was pretty strange. we had to park with a van in the bottom of the hill and walk up to the streets. When we finally got to our yard, you could hear loud music coming from the house. And when we opened the front door, there was a raging party going on inside. We had to push through the crowd to find Grandpa, who was out back in our old hot tub. From the look of things, we was having the time of his life. Dad kicked everyone out of the house, which took forever, mostly because no one was in the big hurry to leave. When everyone was gone, Dad let into Grandpa for having a party. Grandpa said he didn't have a plan on having a party. He said he tried inviting one lady from his dating site over to watch a movie, but he must have accidentally hit send off, and then everyone showed up at once. Dad was really mad, but it mustn't been worth it for him to come up with a punishment for his own father. I guess he couldn't think of anything better, so he just put Grandpa in timeout. I wish we had done a better job of clearing out the party guests when we got home, though, because there were few strangers in Mania room who didn't poke their head out until they thought the coast was clear. Shriek! On Tuesday, ever since Grandpa had his party, Dad hasn't been willing to leave home alone. And when Dad can't be there watch him, he made one of us do it. Grandpa is supposed to sit in timeout for an hour a day or work off his punishment, but he liked to do that in front of the television instead of in the corner. So if you're a grandpa duty, you have to watch whatever you want to watch. Up your nose with a rubber hose. Ha 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 ha. But during the school day, Grandpa is home alone, and I think Dad's nervous there's gonna be another party. So he went out and brought out of those webcams to make sure there isn't any funny business going on while he at work. I don't know where he put it exactly, but what I do know is that he just not using it. But using it to keep an eye on Grandpa. Get your feet off a coffee table. I'm all for technology, but not when it's used against for me. I don't like having a camera in the house because no way, there are cameras everywhere you turn. But the worst thing is cell phone cameras, because nowadays everybody got one. Last summer, when I was getting out of the town pool, my bathing suit fell down a little, and everyone saw it happen. And before I even dried off, the picture were posted all over the internet. Caller saw this at the town pool today. This kid really cracked me, Nancy. These days, you can even get into trouble for making a picture of yourself. A few months ago, we went to the bridge of a church, and when we left the restaurant, I felt like I might have spinach in my teeth. I wasn't anywhere near a mirror, so I borrowed Mom's cell phone to take a picture of myself. Just to make sure. Okay, so here you go. These say you can even. I wasn't anywhere, but some lady in front of me thought I was taking a photo of her, and she thought let us leave until she thought the picture on Mom's phone to make sure it hadn't Okay, so let's get started. Now that I think of it, the mightn't been that started Mom on this electric-free idea to begin with. Speaking of which, Mom got all her signature just needed to take her pay attention to town hall. The way she got them was by interrogating all the party goers as they were leaving our house the other night. After Mom took the petition to town hall, the leader have a vote and make it official. So this Saturday, the whole town is going to volunteering and pluck for the weekend. Mom made it in her mission to get the word out to as many people as possible. I'm trying to keep as a low profile until this whole thing is over. But Mom hasn't been making it easy. I think cutting ourselves off the outside world is a bad idea. If there are zombie apocalypse or something big like that, we're gonna be the last one to know. And so I think it's enough for today, and goodbye.